Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hello, I'm Preeti. I make beauty related videos every week, so if you're into that, please consider subscribing. And in today's video, I'm gonna do a short but thorough review on the newly launched Nykaa's all day matte foundation. So I have this foundation in the shade beige, and let's first take a look at the packaging of this product. This is what the packaging looks like. It comes in with a pump. This foundation retails for 599 rupees for 30 ml of product, and it comes in total of 15 different shades, so I'm pretty sure you can find something close to your skin tone in this range. Now I'm going to show you guys the application of this product. So on the one side of my face I'm going to use a sponge, and on the other side I'm going to use a brush. And before I apply this foundation, I'm going to use a primer. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy Primer. So I'm going to apply just a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other side. I'm taking one pump of this foundation, and this foundation blends really well. It blended out quickly both with brush and sponge as well. And I also applied a little bit extra on the areas where I wanted more coverage. And this is what the foundation looks like. I'm gonna go and quickly put on some makeup and be right back. So as you guys can see, I filmed that video in the daylight. It's because, you know, I'm filming on my new camera. I'm trying to figure out the settings. I filmed the entire review to realize that my external mic did not connect with my camera. So all of the efforts were in vain. So I'm refilming this video at night. But I wanted to show you guys the application in natural light. Right now I'm using my ring light to just film the review. But the application that I showed you was in natural light so that you guys could see the foundation and how it looks in natural light. So yes, coming back to the review, I'm gonna break this review into important categories, and the first category would be coverage. So this foundation claims to have a medium coverage, which I absolutely agree with. I also did apply a little bit extra on the areas where I needed more coverage, and it did not look cakey or it did not feel heavy. So I think this foundation builds up pretty well. So you know, if you want a little bit of extra coverage, you can easily build this foundation to almost like a full coverage foundation. Right now I'm wearing 1.5 pump of this foundation, and I feel like I don't need anything else. I feel like I don't need extra layer of this foundation, and honestly this foundation is quite lightweight as well. I'll come to that. So yeah, basically this is like a medium to full coverage foundation. You can build it up to almost full, and building this foundation is quite easy. It won't look cakey or heavy. And when I use a beauty blender to blend this foundation, I require 1.5 pump. But with a brush, I just require 1 pump of this foundation, and that is enough for me. And also the consistency of this foundation is not too thick, it's not too thin, and it blends very easily both with the sponge and with the brush. But I personally prefer using a sponge because it makes it look a little bit more like my skin. So the second point is the finish of this foundation, and I absolutely love the finish. Of course, as it says, it's a matte foundation, but I feel like it's not too matte. Like I feel like it has more of a natural matte sort of a finish. Like if you guys know me, you know that I don't really wear matte foundations. I often reach out to dewy or satin finish foundations because I don't like the foundations which make my skin look matte. Like, you know, your natural skin has a little bit of glow to it, and you know, when you apply a matte foundation, it just takes away the glow completely. It makes it look a little bit powdery, and I just don't like that finish overall. So for me, I am the kind of person who prefers satin or dewy foundations, but this foundation in particular has a beautiful natural matte finish, rather soft matte finish, so it does not look like a heavy matte foundation. And also one more thing that I noticed was this foundation doesn't feel tacky or like sticky. Like, it's a matte foundation, it feels like a matte foundation when you touch it, but it does not feel drying on your skin. You know, like matte foundations generally feel dry on your skin, but this one does not feel dry. That is one important thing which made me like it more. But you know, it also could be because of the fact that I have used a UV primer underneath, and even yesterday I did apply the Mars glow oil before using this foundation, so it could be because of that. But today I just want to say that I was not wearing any sort of like a moisturizer or anything. I just washed my face and applied the Fit Me Dewy primer. So that primer sort of acted like my moisturizer, and I always apply some moisturizer before going in with makeup. So I feel like the primer wasn't adding a lot of dew to my face. So I do feel like it's not the primer but even the foundation which is not drying out my skin. So yeah, that is one thing I really liked about this foundation. And I also feel like you can absolutely manipulate the finish of this foundation, like use some hydrating products and it will look more like your skin. It can also look dewy, so you have that control, and that's the best part. It's a matte foundation but it still looks like my skin, so yeah, I absolutely love it. And also, if you guys are wondering, I have a combinational skin type, as in my T-zone gets oily, rest of my face is dry, and I feel like this foundation works great for me. And obviously, since it's a matte foundation, it would work for oily skin as well, but I feel like even dry skin people can make it work, because as I said, you can apply some hydrating products and it will look like your skin, it will look more dewy. So I feel like it's a very versatile foundation and a lot of skin types can use this. Also, I totally forgot to mention that this foundation is quite lightweight, even though I built it up a little bit on the areas where I needed more coverage, like over here and over here where I have pigmentation. It did not feel heavy at all, so I definitely agree with the fact that it's quite lightweight. And now let's come to the third category, which is the longevity of this foundation. So this foundation claims to last on your face for around 10 hours. I obviously did not wear it for 10 hours, but I did wear it for around 6 to 7 hours and it lasted really well on my face. Obviously, I'm not saying that I wasn't oily, like my oils were coming through, but I did not feel like I was looking greasy. I was not looking like a grease ball. Rather, I felt like I was looking more healthy. It was like not looking extremely oily, but there was a little bit oil which was coming through, and it just made my skin look healthy and little bit glowy. So I felt like this foundation looked better the longer that I wore it. And also, as I said, I was not looking extremely greasy, but one thing that I noticed was it did not break around my oily areas. Like I was oily around my T-zone, but it did not break the foundation, it did not break the makeup, which I absolutely loved. And talking about dry patches, I do not have dry patches on my skin right now, so I cannot really tell that if this foundation will cling onto your dry patches, but from the feel of it, I don't think it will. And also, I feel like they have launched this foundation at perfect time, because we are transitioning from February to March, winter to summer, and I already can see my skin getting more oily than usual. So I think in summers this foundation will come in really handy. And because as I said, I have combinational skin type, I get very oily in summers, so I prefer using matte foundations in summers. And my favorite matte foundations are the Maybelline Superstay matte foundation and the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. And one more pro that I noticed with this particular foundation is that this foundation does not dry very quickly. You know how matte products dry down to a matte finish, like your liquid lipstick would dry down to a matte finish, your matte foundation would dry down to a matte finish. So initially it's quite liquidy, right? So a lot of my foundations, like even the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation and even the Maybelline Superstay foundation, I feel like they dry down very quickly, and sometimes when you don't blend it real quick, it just gets difficult to blend. So with this particular foundation, I felt like it gives you ample amount of time before it dries down, and like I said, it does not dry down to an extreme matte finish. So yeah, I feel like this foundation gives you ample amount of time to make sure that your foundation has been blended properly. It won't dry down very quickly, so you can easily work with this foundation. And finally, talking about the fourth and the last category, it's the shade range. This foundation comes in total of 15 shades, and I have the shade Beige 06 with me. And honestly, I feel like this shade looks good on me. I think this is my shade, it works on me. But there is one thing that I would like to suggest, like if you guys are considering buying it, if you are someone on whom foundation generally tends to oxidize, I would recommend you to go 1 or 2 shades lighter, because it's so weird. First of all, this foundation does not oxidize on my face. At least I feel like it doesn't oxidize on my face, but it does oxidize on my hand. Like I don't really know how it is happening, but this foundation oxidizes on my hand, because when I received this foundation, I swatched it on my hand just to feel the consistency of this foundation before applying it on my face. face. So I swatched it on my hand and then I was just doing my regular stuff. Like, you know, after 20-30 minutes when I saw the foundation, I saw that it has dried down and it was looking orangish, it was looking a shade darker. But right now when I'm wearing it, I don't feel like it has oxidized on me. Even yesterday when I was wearing it for around 6 to 7 hours, I did not feel like it oxidized on me. I was looking normal, to be honest. I did not feel like I was looking darker or orangish. So I don't really know why it oxidized on my hand. Like, oxidization depends from person to person, because you know, it's just the foundation reacting to the molecules of your skin. So it has a different reaction with every person. So you know, sometimes some foundation may oxidize on you and it may not oxidize on other. So I'm just, you know, suggesting you this little thing, that if you feel like foundations generally tend to oxidize on you, maybe try going shade or two lighter with this particular foundation, because I'll show you what I'm talking about with the hand swatch. Like, I swatched this foundation on my hand about 5 minutes ago. To be honest, I should have done it like 20 minutes ago, and it's still drying down. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know why my hand is not getting focused. As you guys can see, it's still drying down, but I'll do a fresh swatch of this foundation. So you'll see it is oxidizing on my hand. So this is a fresh swatch of this foundation. Let me just focus this. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is oxidizing on my hand. Like, if you see on my face, the foundation on my hand looks darker. It still looks lighter on my face. So if you compare it to my face still looks lighter, and I have applied this foundation almost like an hour ago. So I don't feel like it oxidizes on my face, but it does oxidize on my hand. So I don't know what's the weird thing happening over here. If you have any knowledge about it, let me know in the comment section down below. So yeah, I don't really know if this foundation oxidizes or not, but yeah, if you just have that doubt, maybe go a shade or two lighter. In such scenarios, now what I would recommend is, you can go to the store, you can try the foundation out on your face or hand or whatever, and you can wait there for like 10-15 minutes, and you can observe how the foundation looks on you. If you feel like it is oxidizing, you can go a shade or two lighter. You know, that's the perfect way to tell, because you know, as I said, oxidization can depend from person to person. So you can always go to the store and test out the foundation. So yeah, final verdict, will I purchase this foundation again? Absolutely yes. I feel like this is a good everyday matte foundations for summers, and I would definitely use it a lot in summers, and I can see myself using it even without summers, to be honest. You just need to apply a hydrating base and it would work in all seasons. So yeah, I absolutely like it, and I hope you guys liked the review as well. If you did, then please give this video a big thumbs up, and please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. And also take good care of yourself wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.